It feels appropriate using my new snowball mic for this video, so some of you are coming from him fucking up against Pyro, eh? You know, I'm sick of being surprised by Turkey Tom doing the same shit for 2 fucking years straight, so I'm gonna summarize events real quick. Proceeds to write a 20-minute script, even quick, it's really long. This will not be done in a way to argue or try too hard to back up my claims unless I didn't focus on them in a previous video. I have so many videos on the subject matter. It's just a accessible shorthand link. Also, I want this to be edited on time so the footage won't be that relevant. I think I'm gonna go with epic rap battles of history, but liable to change. Most of the events discussed today have been deleted, sadly, which is hilarious given how often he's called people pussies for deleting bad videos, but 2/3 of his channel is hidden like the coward he is, you know? Meanwhile, Chad Smart Alec just prevents his bad videos from getting views and calls them poo eyes. That might be worse. Who knows? Since much of the content is deleted, I cannot 100% gauge the accuracy of some of these dates, so I'm not going to focus on dates too much this video. Early 2018, Turkey Tom makes a commentary video discussing the cartoon community. This is an unabashed ripoff of MarsReviews' commentary video discussing the cartoon community. Same points, same order, same organization.
Steals jokes from infinitely more successful YouTubers in an effort to gain some notoriety of his own.
Says the guy who has stolen jokes and criticisms from MarsReviews and Rebel Taxi verbatim. The word of the day, boys and girls, is projection.
Turkey Tom creates a video discussing the problems with anime. He rips off I Hate Everything almost every point verbatim. I cannot access it on his channel anymore. Additionally, he did decide to keep up the video where he addresses this, though. You can believe me that at least this video exists. Keep in mind the fact that he addressed these allegations when he mocks Sketchy for deleting videos with constant criticism. Tom also deletes videos when they're hated a lot, like every fucking time, except the Sketchy video, which got a lot of views. Turkey Tom makes his first Mr. Enter video, or the second one if you include the cartoon community rant. This was criticized for being dated. People say he's just a kid and that he'll improve. Turkey Tom's video on I'm Alex is a better summary of everything wrong with Turkey Tom than I could ever do justice. Replace I'm Alex with Tom saying me, and you get the idea. Turkey Tom makes a second video on Mr. Enter. Or third, once again if you're including the cartoon community. This video gets praised for being relevant and substantive. We've come across the first video not hidden from the public eye, yes. Yes, we are like 5 videos in. His DeviantArt one. It's very terrible and indicative of a 2018 style of content, but no one talks about it. Except me, of course, because I'm a nerd. Anyways, one thing notable is this clip, 907 to 917.
A lot of the channels who talk about DeviantArt do. While there are various examples like Spoctor Theory, the guy who was getting weird with little kids, Pentagrin, the girl who falsely accused that guy of being a pedophile.
I'm surprised people didn't get confused by this one if they got confused by the Enter one. I mean, Pentagrin accused Spoctor of pedophilia, but Tom said that guy right after, probably thinking that people would understand that Pentagrin was referring to Spoctor, but he also said Spoctor got weird with little kids, so no one would assume that in their right mind, so I'm guessing people just ignored it or already knew the situation. To jump ahead a bit, starting the theme of Tom's aggressive white knights, when Alice Mark criticized Quentin, he thought he roasted Quentin good because Alice Mark was putting Quentin on the hot seat for unsubbing from Tom. A pretty deflective pattern, as you'll see, and as terrible as the argument, he wasn't edgy when you unsubbed from him, idiot, is the fact that Alice Mark referenced this video of all videos is hilarious. He didn't even watch it. But, you know, people hated Quentin more than Tom in this situation, so it worked. The white knighting worked. It usually does. Back to Tom's content. The next video is still available, and it's the problems with your content, which is proof that he didn't know how to make compelling arguments even without the edge. Even if he isn't ripping someone off or accusing them of pedophilia, he's probably just saying editing or keyframes a million times. A completely unsubstantive video, so I do have to give him credit for getting much better at research over the years. Next we will discuss the notorious fourth Mr. Enter video, which a lot of people thought was the original, which just goes to show how many people are uninformed about the Tom situation. And now that's gone, and even the re-uploads were. I mean, they were on my old laptop, but that thing died. Maybe I can bring it back and leak some of the late epic archived Tom vids, who knows. Hopefully Tom didn't pull up low blacks and mysteriously copyright strike them, but as low as I think of Tom, I doubt he'd do that. This video was peak 2018 style. Tom being an edgy boy. The problem is that there was no substance, and it was him escalating and screaming insults while trying to sound badass as his voice kept cracking. He's got such a wonderful paraphrased little gem on my end, such as, if you're bad at something at first, give up. That's why I gave up animating. Because any smart animator will tell you that they could just do it immediately. Between that and saying Pie Guy Rules video was bad because of, once again, Tom's editing obsession, and Pie Guy Rules not thrashing Enter's concept and merely giving a semi-honest critique, fuck it, a critique, because Tom sure didn't give one. This was enough for the comment section on that video to have like 1% positivity towards Tom himself, despite the ratio being like 60-40. Even people explicitly hoping for a thrashing and just people harassing him were disappointed by these aspects. So believe it or not, Tom calling the asexual Mr. Enter a pedophile 3 times throughout this video, a godsend for this video's reputation, because idiots could say, honestly, it was a good video aside from those 3 bad jokes, and they were jokes. So this was the first major blow to his reputation, and it would bubble throughout the next year. We're still midway through 2018, keep in mind. Before we go over his next video, we gotta admit, he's just a kid, bro. He'll change in the next week, I'm sure of it. What made the situation worse was his immediate next upload was him genuinely calling an autistic brony a pedophile for 10 minutes straight. He's just a kid, bro. He'll change next week, I'm sure. This video was just a mistake. By the way, this video that was a mistake that he totally changed from, yeah, he's doing the same thing like a week ago. It's been 2 fucking years, and he's 18 now. Change ain't happening. I feel like if he needs to change, he has to fucking drop this genre entirely. Shame. Something bad might actually happen, but the boy who cried wolf cried too many times. It was quite a big saga. Holy shit. The whole Storytime animator was 2018's full power of drama because no one had anything to do. In this video, I believe he mocks people for deleting comments and or videos and calls them pussies. Which is rich given that most of his content on Twitter and YouTube has been deleted by him. Usually it because he says it doesn't represent me anymore, which is always a lie because he always is the same fucker. These videos, despite apologizing for some of the content, are the only videos that people have famously called out that aren't deleted. I wonder if it has anything to do with them getting a shit ton of views. Probably not, though. Who knows? That's officially implying he stands by this video to this date, making his entire existence hypocritical both before and after this video. First of all, this clickbait is egregious, only discussing the odd ones out for a few seconds. He's the first in the title. This ain't the epic kind of clickbait where I implicitly make fun of you for even wanting this to exist, but all in good fun. No, instead this is blatant view whoring, and I'm pretty sure he accused Keem of that, but whatever. I don't know, I think you can accuse Keem of everything and you'd probably be right. A minute in, he infers kids are dumb, so there goes his I'm a kid, anything you criticize me for is in the past excuse.
And who could blame them? There are millions of eager fans ready to eat up these videos, some of which are somewhat stupid children, but nevertheless there is a lot of potential in the community, and as long as your videos are presented in a tolerable format for the eyes, then people will likely flood to your channel and tell you how good it is, and how impressive it is that you are making these videos.
He immediately starts bad faith assumptions and assumes everyone he criticizes is a whiny bitch, which drama whores frequently weaponize quite a bit during this cartoon community drama. They simultaneously get to play victim while calling everyone else a victim complex idiot. This video is similar to the I'm Alex video since once again it describes his channel in its entirety. Tommy Boy spends the first part of the video discussing how they can't take constructive criticism and follows it up immediately by calling them pussies, and then follows that up by saying he doesn't want to resort to ad hominem attacks. Can't make this shit up. Even though the right opinion white knighted him hard on this video to an embarrassing extent we will discuss later, even he pointed out how stupid it was to say it's disingenuous to claim to be an introvert if you're loud. Tom, you can scream in your mic without screaming to people. Whoa. Unlike Tom, I'm not disingenuous. Well, maybe I am when it's funny. I won't pretend I'm being constructive right before slinging insults at you. I think Tom is stupid and always will be. There you go. And at this point I don't even want him to improve because every improvement gives people a false sense of security. And then when everyone trusts he's improved for the billionth time, he spearheads a smear campaign after accidentally calling 3 people pedophiles prior, 2 of which having serious consequences, 1 of which being a part of the reason why Mr. Enter is fucking insane today. After all, Mr. Enter said that a big reason he isn't even getting off the internet is because he's worried his name has been tampered with so much that he can't get a regular job without his reputation being destroyed. If you want to see how shitty this drama was, I suggest looking up Quincurio's video on the subject matter, but he was one of many who took Tab's nice track out of context, as proven once again by Quincurio. So lots of lies in this short little video so far. Quite impressive, really. Also, Tom uses a strategy that you should never listen to.
I'm not saying you have to agree with the criticism, but if it's getting attention, you should probably at least recognize it and explain why you agree or disagree.
This is a manipulation tactic to get someone more views and attention. Don't respond genuine criticism like an asshole. Good to take criticism, but responding or validating a quote-unquote critic who is so petty that they demand your attention and try scaring you into it means more people will regurgitate the same thing over and over and will expect you to give them attention and manipulate their audiences if you don't, like how Tom did in this video. That's just disingenuous. Never demand someone respond to your entitled bitch-ass criticism. Criticize them all you want, but don't be a fucking view whore. If you are a view whore, it's your problem. Don't make it someone else's. It's one thing to criticize someone, but it's another to have the person you're criticizing be expected to boost your channel up. That's pathetic. So after him bouncing between constructive criticism and going on tangents to call women ugly whores or something, don't quote me on that, I don't know, I might be misremembering, this happens!
Deleting her video about depression after people called her out for not understanding depression in the slightest. I've gotten a lot of dislikes on videos in the past, some of which were deserved, and some of which I feel were undeserved. But deleting a video and whining about it on Twitter that you were quote-unquote trying to help people makes you look weak.
Holy shit, what a fucking moron. Half of your tweets are gone, and you deleted your response to the D'Angelo Wallace video. Maybe this was the reason the video wasn't deleted. So he also expects people to respond to bandwagons. You know, speaking of bandwagons, Tom jumped on that and was far after many other people's videos, but he claimed joint credit for starting it along with Daft Pina, despite referencing how many other people's videos were in this in order to prove that Sketchy needs to respond to the bandwagon, because especially Just a Robot, who he shows in this video, but he claims later made a video after him, and he disproved his own point, and that's not even the last time he does that in this video. Also, the Pyro situation proves he still hasn't learned how dates work, so that's not a good change either. Honestly, 14 or 18, you should know how dates work by then. Glad you had ad revenue to fall back on instead of rotting in the same history class and then missing all of your first days at work. Speaking of scrolling past evidence of funny Tom lying in his own not funny video, MangaKamen did some research that amounted to proving Tom was actually instigating targeted insults towards Sketchy, then got blocked. Then used said blocking as an excuse to defame Sketchy and said she blocked him for criticism. This whole video is a fucking ego trip. Now that Funny Turkey Gum has been funny criticized, let's see how well he handles the funny criticism. I need to shut the fuck up with putting funny before every other word. Well, let's see. It's deleted. But hey, I got screenshots. Okay, TLDR, he says, I'll stop being edgy. They were mean. I've changed a lot recently. Bahaha. That's hilarious. I don't think they were out of context. So, Mr. Thomas, glad you've opened up to more criticism and questions, and I'm glad you've totally 100% changed after people saying you did so many fucking times. That's so neat. Less than 1 week later, or maybe more than a week.
Bruh.
Okay, to sum up the Dillin Thomas situation, Turkey Tom screams like a bitch and argues and cries at Dillin Thomas and goes back on literally everything he said in the MangaKamen comment. Try saying that 3 times fast because Dillin Thomas thought that MangaKamen comment was sketchy. Wow, I did try saying that 3 times fast. He also acts like the pussies he criticized. I shouldn't need to go on with this chapter of the situation. Seems pretty self-explanatory. But there's also the first wave of really aggressive white knighting with Tom. These aren't like normal dumbass comments. These are like big people. LS Mark, did the video really have to be this long? Like blah 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 blah. He doesn't criticize anything in the video and dismisses it all to ratio Dillin Thomas's video because he extended the outro no one watches by 30 seconds for funny ad revenue. What a fucking monster. I know, I'm gonna die. Also, most of the comments were saying Dillin repeated everything MangaKamen said in the video, which is impossible. Dillin Thomas's video was a response to Turkey Tom's comment he made in response to MangaKamen. It's like saying the pharaohs were just reacting to Obama's presidency or something. You know that doesn't work. I don't know why I came up with those historical figures. What do they have to do with each other? It was also saying why Tom wouldn't change, and Kamen was giving him the benefit of the doubt. That's why Tom got pissed. Someone saw through his bullshit. None of you fuckers know how dates work, also. Such as this guy I was gonna make a video on 2 years ago, but he dropped off the face of the planet and returned making mediocre animation reviews and dropping every few months. So I feel like he's redeemed himself, even though I don't like his content at all. At this time, he was essentially the commentary YouTuber who pretended not to be one and to be this weird-ass moral guardian. He dismisses the Dillin video as drama hopping on bandwagons. Look at your fucking job description. What an idiot. Also, can we appreciate how terribly this comment has aged? This video is basically covering what MangaKamen said in his video, but applying it to his comment, then claim him apologizing is backpedaling, because it's not like people could ever see what they did wrong. This comment aged bad at the time because in the same video Tom made a comment that proved he went back on everything he said within a week. This sounds like you're trying to stir a pot that's already been... No, you're a white knight, and I've seen you white knight in other situations, saying it this whole time. People weren't fucking listening. The reason why Tom hasn't had his reputation irrevocably destroyed as badly as other YouTubers, and the reason why some of you are actually surprised he's a liar, it's not your fault. All of Tom's butt buddies try downplaying and fighting against people who point at the truth of his idiocy, and they tend to get more views, or get people to disregard good criticism because once again they get more views. Bunch of hype men get really excited when they diss someone really smart, like someone really challenging for Tom's mental capacity, like, you know, no bullshit. Hey Turkey boy, remember that thing you said about funny criticism? Also remember losing to Digibro and all people in a debate? By the way, October of 2018. This is still 2018 we're dealing with. The only thing Tom has changed is the frequency of his stupidity because he did slow down quite a lot after this year.
And while I was harsh in my videos, obviously I was still nice to them when talking to them because I was just criticizing their content. They didn't message me asking to talk about my videos, and I was like, sure thing, you dumb cunt. No, I was nice and I heard them out.
The right opinion. His video on the Storytime animators was fucking awful. And it was him at his worst. Trying to make the tone about a subject he admits to knowing nothing about as serious and sensationalized as possible, squeezing any potential drama from every last drip, and now people were starting to criticize Tom for this sketchy thing, but our commentary white knight here with his hilariously awful argumentation and double standards to protect our lying, sociopathic, and soon-to-be bipolar little boy. Shro expertly gives lip service to the call-out to avoid MangaKamen, but manages to phrase everything Tom did as low-key as possible, and also waste him off. Not literally, it's a metaphor, you creep. He also claims Tom is so fucking smart for not falling for Keemstar's manipulation. I gotta say, you gotta be a special kind of stupid to completely trust Keemstar in 2018. I ain't judging people for liking Turkey Tom, but I am judging people for liking Keemstar. Unless you're new to the shitty side of the web. As Trog tries gaslighting the odd ones out for being weirded out that Tom called someone fat and then lied about the apology, and then in said lie they manipulated the situation with I am all full intent to make Specchi look bad. Tro simultaneously and hilariously dramatizes the odd ones out, saying he'll follow Tom on Twitter if he stops being an idiot. His words were much more polite, but he tries to make this Twitter follow and, accurately insinuating in a YouTube comment that Tom was kind of sleazy. He's, acting like he's this fucking master of manipulation when Tro's the one manipulating. It's such a fucking stretch. How do people buy this? How? I just don't get it. It's so amazingly dumb. That's kind of dumb, don't you think? And the right opinion sounds really passionate about all this, too. He even ends the video saying that's a cat, that the story time animators can't outrun him. Oi there, mate, watch it. The British paraplegic is going to shish. A genre he don't know shit about. People remember that time he said this, though. Horrible British accents aside, this is a genuine question the odd ones out has. Once again, the right opinion was clearly afraid of MangaKamen and probably calling out something disingenuous, so the right opinion, he was sneaky. He made Tom look good while technically telling the truth. Very clever stuff. He also tried his best to lie by omission and try to paint this as manipulation, when if you saw the MangaKamen video, MangaKamen wasn't really focused on the insults as much as the underhanded tactics. But no, James is the manipulative one. Also, Quincurio points out how fucking idiotic these people are, and kind of ended this drama. To paraphrase Staxolotl, stirred a pot that was already settled on the right opinion's end. So, it was a nice little spotlight to draw away from Tom as a little side bonus to the viewing, it's all pretty swag. An epic yo. But the spotlight wasn't going to be drawn from Tom for long. Mr. Enter finally snaps. Well, he snaps yearly, but he makes a video critiquing Tom and many other critics and fucking creepy stalkers. They all apologize, except Tom. He made fun of Enter, then apologized, then he made fun of him more, then apologized while making fun of him and making fun of the other people who apologized while saying he never apologized while saying he did. Oh god, it's convoluted. The next video I'm about to cover might be the worst commentary video on this entire fucking platform. No joke, I made an hour-long response to it and it could have been a lot longer. For those who don't have the time, Tom says bandwagon bad. Tom jumps on another bandwagon next week and rips off many videos on Jello Apocalypse, including mine. Tom mocks people for apologizing to Enter. Tom passive-aggressively says he apologized to Enter. Tom dismisses and recontextualizes all the critics towards him and acts as if they were invalid, and he's kind of being a sleazy liar here. Tom says that you can make shitty videos. 2 seconds later, he says you can't make shitty videos. And then he says something about Lele Pons for no reason. This video is bipolar. He contradicts himself every few sentences. Additionally, he lowers the stakes of the accusations levied against him as much as he can get away with while making it believable and making it subtle enough so people don't call him out. Oh no, I made a racist joke when I was 14. And then he makes a racist joke a week later after this video. And then a year later, and then he responds like a bitch when D'Angelo Wallace calls him out, and then the commentary community white knights him again, except they completely failed this time. Yeah, it's a pattern I've noticed, is ironically, around November time he gets destroyed by the internet, and then everyone forgets about it. Now, I don't like cancel culture when he said the N-word when he was 5, but
slandered countless people. I have done this for my entire career. I have probably destroyed a couple lives. I've probably helped destroy at least one. I've almost destroyed a couple.
I just want you guys to remember these things and maybe make it a bit more of an uphill battle. Now that he's 18, and prove that kids don't magically become a different person after their birthday. Hey, thanks. I sound like a fucking valley girl. God, I need to socialize. I've been in this fucking cooped up house for too fucking long. Yo. So anyways, moving on, he ends this year with a very, very biased political video. I admit, it attempts to be, there is a few bad parts. He uses the take criticism bullshit because a leftist named Anthony Fantano dared to express disagreement with people in their chat. Whoa, glad Turkey Tom isn't a giant fucking spaz or anything. Glad he was way nicer on the Republicans than the Democrats in the video for some suspicious reasons. It could have been a much worse video though, to be perfectly fair, though it makes the Jello Apocalypse video maybe seem a bit more hypocritical, as if, you know, bandwagoning after saying bandwagon bad wasn't enough. 2019, his best year, for the most part. In fact, it seemed like he was turning a new leafy. Defending one of the people he's criticized against makes him look pretty good. To be fair, he was criticizing I'm Alex, which might have to do with why he pulled the exact same shit a year later. He just hates I'm Alex a lot, yeah, that's it. I mean, he called out Hypocritical for ironically saying the N-word, but then used that defense as, you know, I can say the N-word ironically. Fucking hypocrite. Moving on. People informed me that his Max Emily's video was him getting mad that Max trolled him. I feel like the prank could have been a funny troll and he would have gotten mad, but I feel like there's such a thing as too far. I was praising him for the whole Slazo situation, but then Ellis Mark informed me that Tom was being edgier than usual on Twitter and had got himself banned despite him being told not to because, you know, he'd get banned. Turkey Tom was in the right getting pissed with Maximilius, but not the Twitter thing. He also made a Twitter video after that, but then deleted it in an hour? What? Also, his video on YouTube sponsorships is also gone. Wow, he's still getting rid of his older content that he's embarrassed with. Oh, it's not because of the D'Angelo Wallace situation. I just pointed out this video was one I regret. Yeah, totally. I'm sure your other videos are fucking perfect, boy. Once again, Storytime Animator's video. I guess he stands by everything in it, you know? It's just not because of that 1 million views. So the D'Angelo Wallace situation is also quite a long one. I tried staying neutral and both sidesing it, but it was mostly Tom's fault in the end. Long and short of it, D'Angelo Wallace wanted to make a Turkey Tom pun and expose him on Thanksgiving because he made a video with a bunch of anti-Semitic jokes and some weak evidence, admittedly, for people in the comment section also making race jokes. Also, he revealed Tom said the N-word both last year and since then. No one talked about how recent some of the stuff was, and they targeted on the stuff from last year. In fact, the agenda for the White Knight community was in full effect, full panic. So, let's go over that. Nicholas Dorio, say how offensive someone is for saying racist jokes are bad, and you say you're canceling a child's life. He's like 3 years younger than the person who is criticizing him currently, and you criticize people super harshly nonstop. But you gotta! You don't like racist jokes? Haha, snowflake. But if you joke about cancel culture, after someone backtracked 40 times, we're going to have to bore you to death. I'm going to kill you. I'll unpin this comment that will show you you're as bad as I'm Alex, even though... What? Make sure all discourse is focused on past comments instead of ignoring all of the stuff that started this shit, because Tom made racist jokes in the past. So that way, we can say it was just the past and ignore that this entire situation is about the racist joke from the video from last week. We gotta make Tom looks as good as possible despite you just reading tweets. Boblax, you gotta suck Turkey Tom's ass. Really, Maxo, don't even try to care about looking good. Get yourself ratioed with one of the most transparently dishonest videos imaginable. Make sure it is at least 100th as bad as Turkey Tom's bandwagon video just to compete. Tom, spaz, proving that your edginess is just you being a pussy again and again. Oh, I actually feel bad for him. He got calls home. That's not good. Guys, don't do that. I wish he was more empathetic and thought about that when, you know, he spazzed out online, but Boogie managed to be calmer when a gun was in his hand pointing against a man who he knew from the internet stalked him all the way to his fucking house, but, you know, let's not talk about that quite yet. Also proving he hasn't changed since Dillin Thomas from over a year ago. You saw that black man for saying racist jokes are stupid. He doesn't even believe in racism. Fucking poo-eyed looking bastard. Guys in the lower sector, I have to report some shocking news. Making someone look by focusing on that time they said I hate N-words with a hard R apparently backfired. Oh my god, his response video is really calm and collected and clearly isn't biased or a snowflake. He's destroying us with facts and logic. That's Funny Shapiro's job. Quickly call them pussies. We'll also call Ryan that they made a cancel culture joke. Gonna fucking die. So all in all, by Turkey Tom standards, that was a damn good year. The next year, somewhere in between 2018 and 2019 in terms of badness levels. In other words, all the people who kept saying he's a kid and he's gonna get better over and 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 over again, like, they're wrong. They're idiots. They're poo eyes. They're poo heads. Well, this year he's 18 and he doesn't have the kid excuse anymore. You shouldn't have relied on something that would inevitably literally age. For example, simply criticizing Twitch streamers. Whether Tom knew it or not, the commentary video's newest pig was Twitch. So Tom isn't exactly in the wrong, but would have been nice to see Tom call out his buddy Bulblax for being a lazy hypocrite who craps on streamers for not putting enough effort into their content. I'll give you a pass, buddy. But then Leafy got deleted and you fucking had a tantrum. Thing is, Leafy getting deleted, not good for YouTube. It's another nail in a coffin. We have 1 billion to go, but it's another fucking nail. But a lot of the commentary community, Tom included, got super fucking pissed whenever people even so much as joked about it. Those bitches joke about genocide and racism, but they can't fucking take it when someone makes fun of them for the obvious irony in this situation. And no, none of these were a mature way of handling it. Whether it's getting mad that people are joking at their expense, or dismissing true statements based on prior experience while also proving their point, catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. All the shitty arguments. Whoa, I'm sure. Unlike Sword and Shield, Tom's not gonna be removing half his shitty arguments anytime soon. Sorry about the soy jack memes with too much text. This one's kinda cack. I shouldn't say cack, that's cringe. Keck or cringe with Pyro. Cynical. Wrong Pyro. Even for those who want to be like it's not good to joke about censorship or saying that he's in the right to say people shouldn't celebrate a slippery slope, well, Tom actively supports said fucking slope. So this makes his video hypocritical, and this makes any of his anti-censorship angles completely disingenuous. That's right, guys. If you disagree with Turkey Gom and point out the hilarious irony surrounding a bad situation because Tom was a petty victim because his petty boyfriend was fucking cancelled from YouTube, he supports the same censorship happening to you, or worse, whatever the fuck that means. Maybe Turkey Gom will be a Turkish school shooter. That would be pretty keck. No, it wouldn't. That would be horrible. Please don't shoot people. Don't need to follow Leafy is here in that regard. Guys, Turkey Tom has grown up so much now. Instead of being a lying, slanderous hypocrite who can't take what he dishes out, he's the same thing. And he gives people whose opinions, he disagrees with nice little vague threats with a dash of hypocrisy. What a charmer. Fucking simmer on the roast. Least memeing him is funny. To be fair, a lot of people were doing this, but it doesn't make it okay. And the fact that he says this at the same time, hilarious. Does he actively want to be perceived as projecting? He didn't need to add this and advocate censoring his twink boyfriend's critics. He probably could have had enough wiggle room. Just get needlessly offended at people's jokes about the situation, criticize people who denied the slippery slope, but no, he had to be a hypocrite and he had to project. And now, we're in the present. What have we learned? Before we continue, what have we learned? Don't be a lying pussy who attacks other people and makes quadrillion excuses to squirm out of your way of criticism you demand others to follow while also slandering people by accident, and don't use just a kid as an excuse. What has Tom learned? Well, he's lying by omission, as shown by Pyro's response video, but he's also just not addressing half the fucking claim, half the accusations, which is the accuser. So, he didn't learn that. He's still spazzing towards criticism, just like Jello Wallace from last year, just like Dillin Thomas from 2 years ago, calling people pedos with way too much confidence. Obviously, that's the whole situation. Fence-sitting while also projecting, flip-flopping. Well, it's in the same fucking thread I just showed y'all. He accuses someone else of flip-flopping, but luckily, Tom gets to say he never made such an accusation to call someone a groomer, while also having enough ambiguity to spread it around. Well, okay, a pedo, but you know, groomers are a subsection of pedos. Just FYI, not sure if you didn't know it, this was from the fucking document. And his fucking crusade against anyone who disagrees with his lazy, weak-ass accusations. No lessons learned. So, he's still preemptive and judgmental, so that's
Working
great.
constantly.